What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Ladies Who List Atlanta. So let's get into it shall we? All right, y'all. So, real quick before we get into it, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers, to everybody that liked and commented on my previous videos. This has been a little haul for with YouTube trying to get to these 1,000 subscribers and to really get myself out there. And I have really been putting in the work, and I appreciate the fact that the YouTube gods finally put me in the algorithm for you guys to find me. So I want to take this time to thank you and welcome to my new subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000. We are almost there. Thank you guys for sharing my content. I super appreciate you, and stick around, because what you saw in that video that sort of went pre-viral for me is just how I am. I am the type of person, I'm not one of those YouTubers that's very biased and, don't want to straddle the fence. I pick a side, no caps over here, and it is what it is. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't, and I'm just going to tell it like it is. That's just how I am. And the things that shoot off the top of my head, my husband will tell you, I just be saying anything. So that's just how I am. So anyway, just to give a little introduction of who I am, that's me. But let's get into Ladies Who List Atlanta. All right, so the episode starts out with Kiana and Kira, which are the two top-selling agents in Atlanta right now. They're meeting for a drink on a patio at a pool, and child, it's just giving very lavish. Okay, so Kiana talked about how she met Kira, which was through social media, which is where she first saw her, and everybody was kind of judging Kira because she was in the pool, child, looking good as she want to look. Okay, it was a look. All right, she was in the pool. Body was banging, okay, and I guess that just wasn't okay, which I don't see why it's not okay. It made her human. People go to the pool, people get in bikinis, they take pictures. That's what she did, and she put it on social media. I don't know what that has to do in a negative light about her not being able to sell luxury real estate, but whatever. So they talk about that, how, Kiana really loves the fact that she can be that person taking a picture in a bathing suit, sell $1 million plus home the next day, and go to church and praise in the pulpit. Child, that's called well-versed. Okay. Then Kira talks about Kiana and how she really looks up to her, where she's like, people don't look at her and see her struggle. Apparently Kiana grew up in not the best situation in North Carolina, but she came up through the roots and built herself up to who she is. I want to kind of talk about people saying that people don't look like what they go through. Why do I have to look like trash while I'm winning? Or why is it that you have to know that I struggled before I got where I am for you to appreciate my success? We got to stop making that the stigma, especially in the Black community, because I don't want to look like a struggle. I don't want to, if I ain't got the struggle to get to where I want to get, I don't want to struggle. If I can keep you from struggling to get to where you need to go, why the hell would I do that? So that whole you don't look like what you've been through stuff, I get it. There's a lot of rags to riches stories that are very, very creative and very motivating and all that, but we ain't got to struggle all the damn time. Okay. But anyway, moving right along, they talk about how each other is killing it, congratulate each other on all these, Akira just made a closed on a house, and then they jump into the water, child, to affirm their continued success. Okay. So then we meet Crystal and Robin. So Crystal is a closing attorney and Robin is a broker. Okay. And they are friends, and they sit down and they talk about how they first met. And Robin gives me a little spicy. She gives me assertive, and Crystal gives me girl's girl. Like, she's the girl that you can talk to. Her personality can probably mold to whoever she's around. She's very much so a mover and shaker. She's like the good girlfriend that you can sit down and have a conversation with no judgment. Like, that's the vibe that I get from her. But Robin gives me very firecracker. Okay. And that kind of shows later on in the episode. Okay. So I think this is just where they're kind of introducing the ladies at this point. in the episode. So Crystal and Robin's interaction, Robin is saying that there's something that she wanted to talk to Crystal about as far as like a new opportunity, but she wasn't quite ready to talk to her about it, but she will bring it up when she's more ready to expound upon what it is. So then they go into Robin and Crystal closing a home for the two people on the Amy and Mozzie show. So they are actually two popular YouTube artists, and Robin sold them a home. So Crystal was doing she was the closing attorney for it. So they all sit down and celebrate that. They're signing their papers. They're excited. I actually watched the Amy and Mozzie show. It is hilarious. By the way, you guys should go and check out their channel and subscribe. But anyway, moving right along. After they go through the closing situation with them and congratulate them, they go into the office, Crystal and Robin, and they have a chat. So Robin finally comes out and says, you know what? We have all these successful Black real estate agents and Black women per se in Atlanta, and we're making all this money for these white brokerages. Like, why don't we just get together? I'm a broker. We get together all together and we come in one place, make money together and make each other successful. I think that we should try to achieve that. So as the conversation goes along, Crystal is like, I really think that's a great idea. We should definitely talk to Kiana. They talk about talking to Kira. And then there's two other agents that are introduced as well. There's Tiffany, which is another closing attorney, and Tiana. Okay. So they all want to come together and kind of build this sisterhood and brokerage that's going to create opportunities for a lot of them in the luxury world of Atlanta. So anyway, moving right along, Crystal comes out and says to her, listen, I'm all for it. I think that's a really great idea. However, you don't play in the sandbox well with other females. So even in the confessional, Robin said, I don't get along. Females are not my cup of tea. But then she want to get pissed when Crystal actually says it out loud. Here's my thing. If you don't play well with other people, I get it. You're saying this is business, but you want to go into business with these people and they have to freaking like you. Like, at the end of the day, if you shitty and you have a terrible attitude, I'm not going to want to work with somebody like that. So no, we ain't got to go get massages and get our toes and feet done together every week. But goddamn it, if I'm going to be working with you and making you money, you damn sure not going to treat me shitty. That's just as that on that. Okay. So I didn't really see anything wrong with Crystal saying that, but Robin kind of took it as her taking a dig at her and using something that they had in a conversation one-on-one against her, which at the end of the day, people with big personalities like Robin kind of bother me sometimes because it feels like you want to always come down on other people, but nobody can come at you and tell you the truth. And it makes people in those types of relationships, like when one person is open and the other person has such a huge personality, you constantly shrink yourself and make yourself quiet so that you don't piss off that other person. And I kind of get that vibe with Crystal, and that comes out in their conversation in the park later on. But anyway, moving right along. So Robin gets upset. She's talking about she going to throw the damn champagne in Crystal's face if she keeps on saying that. And I'm like, girl, why we got to resort to the violence? Like, Crystal look like don't play with her. And apparently her sister in the office working as the office manager, which we realize in another scene, you might not want to be throwing shit at old girl because she is a lawyer. She might beat your ass and then sue you afterwards. So you might need to stop trying to be so gangster. I'm just saying. So anyway, the next scene, Tiffany, a closing attorney, and Tiana, another luxury real estate agent, meet with a play date with their kids. So Tiana is talking about how she jokes about how she is teaching her kids how to count calories, and Tiffany wish her kids would just eat, child. So I thought that was very interesting because as a mom, sometimes it's really hard. I have a 5-year-old son, and I think about all the time when I'm trying to cultivate meals for him too. I ain't having his ass counting calories. That's a little bit much, but whatever. You like it, I love it. So that was their way of introducing them, where they talk about work-life balance, being successful in real estate, and still having time to do all the things you have to do as a wife, as a mother, and all those balancing characteristics. So then in the next scene, we get to meet Kiana. Kiana meets with Ashton, another luxury agent, and he was showing her a home that's a pocket listing that he had that's not even going to be on the market yet. And she had my girl Crystal Hazlett coming up in there. I was almost about to jump out my damn chair because I watched Sisters too, and I might even start reviewing that show as well. But Crystal is my girl. Okay, that is Fatima on Sisters, and they have a new show coming out that Tyler Perry is creating around her and the Zach character, called Zatima. So I was excited to see her on this episode. So anyway, moving right along, she shows Crystal around the house, and Crystal likes the home. And I really love how this show versus Selling Tampa, they're actually showing the ladies selling houses. Like, I really wish we could have seen more of that on Selling Tampa, because I watch Million Dollar Listing and other shows like that too. And it's I like to see you actually closing deals and people that are actually going to buy these houses. So I follow Crystal Hazlett on social media, so I knew she was looking for a home in Atlanta. So I don't know if this is the one she ended up buying, but anyway, it was nice to see a real transaction transpiring. So anyway, moving right along, after they look at the house, Crystal loves it. Kiana walks her out, but in walks Crystal, the closing attorney. So they're talking, and Crystal says to her, "Listen, Robin wants to have this dinner. Are you going to be willing to show up?" So Kiana is like, "No, I don't want to go," because there was a situation where Robin and Kiana they were friends, but there was an opportunity for Robin to step up and help Kiana with the situation, because Kiana has her own she has her own business with real estate agents. So she wanted to get out of her former brokerage. So I don't know all the logistics, but apparently there was, for her to get out of her former firm, she was going to be left without, for them to release her, she was going to be left without being able to perform any business for a certain amount of time. So her license was going to be restricted for a certain period of time. So she looked to her friend Robin, which is another successful agent, to help her with these 26 closings that she had, that she didn't want to have to forfeit during that wait period that she had. So instead of Robin going in as a good girlfriend and helping her out, which she says she don't like other women, so this is exhibited with Exhibit A, which you're doing right here, she didn't. She says, "Yeah, I'll help you, but I want $500 per listing." So Crystal was like, "Well, why would she do that? Because she doesn't need the money." Apparently, Robin is very successful as well. So Kiana feels like there was some stank behind that. Like, girl, either you're hating or you really needed the money. And apparently Crystal's saying that you just hating because you ain't need the money. So I don't really understand why Robin did that if you had an opportunity to help a friend, but I guess we'll learn that as the episodes go along. So moving right along, Kiana eventually agrees to go to this dinner because her and Crystal are actually really good friends. She said, "Me and Crystal are not just business acquaintances. Like, we go on vacations together." And my thing is, as a friend of other friends, yeah, you my friend if I can go on a vacation with you, because I ain't trying to be stuck in no other countries, no other states with a bitch that I don't really fuck with. So yeah, if we going on vacations, we cool. We see each other. Okay. So moving right along, Crystal's sister comes over to her house in the next scene. This is Crystal, the closing attorney. Crystal's sister comes over to kind of discuss some things that were going on in the office, and then she asks her about Robin. She's like, "Yeah, what was going on? I heard her yelling in your office the other day. Like, what's tea?" So Crystal was like, "Yeah, we were talking about this opportunity that she has, and Robin is the type of person that she loves to dish it, but she can't take it." Okay. And I had friends like that before, where it's like, y'all can always talk shit, but you don't want to take it when somebody gives it back to you or somebody tells you what you're doing wrong. And in those types of friendships, they can be very buckling, because yes, you want to be around that friend and be supportive because you love them and you see the good parts of them. But sometimes it can be very draining being friends with somebody like that, because they never want to accept when they ass is just fucking wrong. Okay. And when you try to tell them, then it turns into an argument, and then it's very draining of your energy. So I can identify with Crystal in that manner, because it's like, you don't want to look like a fake friend, because I feel like Crystal is trying to run negative interference between Robin and the other ladies. And can sense that throughout the season, it's probably going to mess with their friendship, because while she's trying to build Robin up to be this better person that they don't see, it's probably going to come off looking wrong to Robin. I can kind of have enough foresight to see that that's going to end up what's happening. But in the meantime, Crystal is talking it through with her sister to see how she can actually have this conversation with Robin in a way that is not going to hurt her feelings, but she can understand where Robin is coming from, but get her point across to help her understand where, she's trying to just get her to understand when you're dealing with other females, because it's hard for women. Let's just be clear. It's hard for women to get along anyway. Okay. So when you're trying to work together and all that, you got all that estrogen in one space, and you already got a bitch that's saying she don't like other females, that's going to be challenging, and that's going to be a problem. And Crystal seems like the type that, listen, I'm about my business. I'm not about the drama. And I know that it's going to be some drama with you. So she's trying to talk it out with herself and figure out how to have this conversation with Robin, because she was being very disrespectful in her office. And you sitting up here talking about you going to throw your damn champagne in my face. Let me tell you something. I ain't no punk bitch. So what you're not going to do is be throwing your shit in my damn face, and you're not going to be threatening me and thinking that I'm going to just laugh it off and think it's okay. So I'm glad she's deciding to have this conversation with her. So in the next scene, Tiffany, Kira, Kiana, and Tiana meet to look at a home that Tiana is showing. So they're trying to show it to Kiana because apparently Kiana is that bitch. Like, she's the head honcho, and she has all the clients that she's the place to be, right? So everybody's showing their houses to her because she typically has a buyer for a lot of these homes. So in conversation, they all discuss how Robin wants to meet up with them for dinner and discuss this opportunity. Now, Tiffany is saying that she really doesn't know Robin that much. She hasn't done any closing. She's the other closing attorney, and she hasn't really done any closings with her. And in previous conversation with Crystal and Robin, Crystal revealed that Crystal and Tiffany are the only two successful Black closing attorneys in Atlanta. So when Robin brought the opportunity to say, hey, we could all work together, Crystal said, well, we both have our own clients. So it's like, but we're not in competition. But it's like, I'm like, Crystal, look here, stop fucking lying. You don't want to work with her, because I'm sure all the other agents, all the agents that you trying to get to work there, they have their own damn clients too. So what you trying to say? Nobody can merge clients unless they're, if they're attorneys. That don't make no sense. Just say you don't want to work with her and you're jealous. It is what it is. But anyway, getting back to the other ladies together. So apparently Tiana and Crystal went to high school together, but she does all of her closings with Tiffany. So because they're close, and I get it, there's a loyalty there. Like, just because we went to high school together, that doesn't mean that we were like besties and so on and so forth. They've gone on with their lives. Obviously, they a long way from high school at this point. She's doing her closings with Tiffany. Apparently, Kiana must do closings with both of them. And Kira said that there was an incident at a Kanye West concert where Crystal saw her and was like, oh, don't I know you? And Kira was pissed because she's like, bitch, I know you fucking know me because we went to dinner together. So don't even try it. And I'm like, y'all go to dinner with a lot of motherfuckers. Maybe she don't remember you. Was it one dinner? Or was it several? I don't know. Whatever. But apparently y'all gonna get to know each other on the damn show. So anyway, they all talk and they say that they're actually going to go to the dinner and see exactly what, Robin has to say. And Kiana was like, well, she didn't really do me right in the past, but I'm going to go to this dinner and see what the hell they have for talking about and see what's what. But quiet as it's kept, Kiana was like, yeah, I'm just going to this dinner so I can tell her ass no to her face because she didn't want to help me. So, bitch, I ain't helping you with shit. And I'm going to come to your little dinner and tell you in front of everybody. And that's that on that. Okay? So in the last scene, we see Crystal and Robin meet in the park to discuss Robin's outburst in her office. And Robin feels Crystal was being condescending and putting her down about her ideas. And I did notice that Crystal, throughout the conversation, I think she was very nervous. Like, I could sense a nervous laugh with her. And I feel like she kept trying to laugh it off to comfort Robin and bring Robin down. But really, throughout the conversation, she was pissing Robin off even more. Like, I feel like Crystal was afraid to really have this conversation. I felt like she had so much anxiety, and I could feel it and see it in her, because I'm telling y'all, I've had relationships with people that have over the top personalities like Robin does. And as their friend, You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to be going back and forth with them, especially if you the type like me. I'm not that girl that's going to be going back. Now, I'm a word sorceress, as y'all can see in my previous videos. I can come up and say, I can give the gift of gab with the best of them, honey. But I also can throw them bows. So it's going to get to a point in a conversation where you showing your ass and then I'm going to want to beat your ass. So that's just how it is. And I feel like Crystal is not that type of person where she don't want to go to blows with you, and she wants to try to keep the peace with you. So when she gets nervous in a situation or gets a little anxious, she starts to laugh and try to, soften the moment, or whatever the case may be. But Robin was just not having it. She's like, you over here fucking laughing and I'm serious. And I can get where Robin is coming from, because if you're a straightforward person, you seeing that your friend is over here laughing at you, that would piss me off too. And I think that Crystal should have explained to her, if they were as close as it seems like they're trying to make it, Robin should understand that that's just a characteristic about Crystal. But moving right along, Crystal, like she said, she didn't like how Crystal was Robin says she didn't like how Crystal was laughing and chuckling, like she was too much, like it was too much for her to be there talking to Robin. And Crystal continues to, give that nervous laugh and says that it's a bit crazy that Robin is mad and thinks, and she's mad over something that didn't happen. Because in Robin's head, she feels like Crystal was disrespecting her by bringing up the fact that she doesn't play well in the sandbox, when in actuality, she's just telling you the truth. She's telling you how she feels. So that's not you can't find it disrespectful when somebody as your friend is coming out and telling you how they feel and giving you their opinion. Because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to agree with you that's around you. And if you're going to get upset every time somebody come at you with something to make you better or seemingly goes against what you feel or think, you ain't gonna be able to work with these other females, which is what she's trying to tell you. Because women are very emotional people naturally. You know what I mean? So if you're going to be trying to work with them, you can't even hear your friend giving you constructive criticism. How the fuck you gonna work with these very successful ladies that are doing well on their own and they don't really need you at this point? You are trying to do a great thing, which is huge and grand, but at the grand scheme of things, they don't really need you. So how are you going to convince them that this is going to be a good situation if you can't even have a cordial conversation with somebody that you consider your homegirl? Towards the end of the conversation, Robin says she thinks Crystal is superficial and extra and that she can't respond with heart. And Crystal says, let's talk about how you feel, why you're upset, and Robin now doesn't want to talk about it. She keeps wanting to reiterate that this is why she doesn't have relationships with women, which is the whole reason why y'all sitting here fucking talking. Because Crystal brought up the fact that she knows that you feel like this and that you've said that. So you are just further confirming her concerns. Okay. And then Crystal continues again, that pacifying friend continues to reassure her that she's her friend, because Robin keeps saying, that's why I don't hang around women. That's why I don't have no friends and all this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, why do you have to do that? Like, if this is your friend, why are you constantly putting her down? Because that's real shitty. That's not being a good friend. Like, you're constantly beating on your friend and taking your anger out on her. And I just don't like that. Like, those exchanges and relationships are very triggering for me. And I had to not be friends with those people anymore because of the way it made me feel. So I can see this ending up happening with Crystal, because with her personality, she's very open, she's very likable and kind. And I can see why Robin got to use her to talk to the other women, because you acting like a bitch all the time. You got to learn. Probably needs some therapy so that she can learn how to control her emotions, because that strong Black woman persona can come off a little. It's not really a strong Black woman persona. It's just you need to deal with your anger. It don't have nothing to do with you being a Black woman. It has something to do with you being a woman that doesn't know how to control her behavior and center herself. That's what that is. So anyway, Crystal apologizes to Robin and wants to tell her how she can, is telling her, but don't tell me how to apologize to you. Robin goes on to say, well, don't say I'm sorry that you feel that way. I don't like when people say that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you want to control the whole damn conversation. Goodness. Like, the girl sitting here trying to apologize to your dumb ass. I don't know if I'm like Robin, because I also saw in a clip where she hit Crystal. And here's my thing. Um, Listen here, I don't give a fuck how close we are. Don't put your fucking hands on me, because as soon as you open the floodgates of you slap me, I'ma knock you out. And it is what it is. We ain't gonna go blow for saying blow. I'm going for the jugular. So don't put your hands on me. We can have a conversation all day, but you talking about throwing alcohol in my face and then you gonna hit me in front of these other women like I'm your child. This just looks like a toxic relationship to me. I'm just saying. But anyway, they end up walking off into the sunset. Crystal, cools Robin off at some point. It's like Robin dumps on her to a point, and then she feels better about herself, and now they're back adjoined at the hip, which is very toxic and not healthy in a friendship at all. So Crystal still agrees she was like, do you still want me to get the ladies to come to the dinner? And Robin's like, yes, I appreciate that. Can you still get them to come to the dinner? So I'm interested to see how this little dinner gonna go, child, because I'm actually really interested in seeing Kiana tell Robin ass no, because she don't know how to talk to people, and she don't even know how to deal with her own friend, more or less talking to a bunch of women about a business opportunity. So we'll see how this goes. I think this is going to be a cute little show. We're gonna rock with this every week and see how the relationships develop. But thank you guys for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.